There are countless examples of female thieves, murderers, and other criminals throughout history. Who is the most dangerous lady in the world who is being held captive? Some of these women are so deadly that they need to be kept under strict lock and key to prevent them from unleashing devastation on the outside world. Welcome to True Crime. Let's get started. Rebecca Butterfield. One of Australia's most dangerous women, she has spent years behind bars because the police feared what she would do if she were released. She was imprisoned for a year in 1997 after stabbing a taxi driver instead of paying her fare. After stabbing a neighbor 3 years later who was attempting to stop her from hurting herself, she ended up back in jail. After receiving a jail sentence, she went on to carry out her largest crime to date. She killed a fellow prisoner in 2003 by stabbing her 33 times with a kitchen knife. She received a 12-year prison sentence for this offense, with 7 years of parole remaining before she could be released. She was never granted release, and prosecutors continued to get orders for her continued imprisonment, even though her sentence was supposed to have finished years ago. She hasn't changed from her original criminal behavior. She still acts violently. She attacked medical professionals who attempted to help her while she was imprisoned for the murder of her cellmate. She once threw her own colostomy bag and boiling tea at them. She attempted to hurt a nurse who wanted to take her blood and attacked another prisoner with hot water. These cast a negative light on her. Afterward, there are the testimonials of the mental health providers who attended to her. Her former psychiatrist dubbed her Australia's most dangerous woman, and other medical professionals concur that she suffers from borderline and antisocial personality disorders and may even have schizophrenia. According to the physicians, she should stay away from people and could harm patients and staff if transferred to a forensic facility. Christine Deni Joanna, an England woman who carried out the infamous Peterborough ditch murders. At 16, Christine ran away from home with her older boyfriend. She lost custody of her 2 children with the man after they were born because she was using drugs, alcohol, and herself. After that, she relocated to Peterborough, where she started her killing spree. Łukasz Slaboszewski, a 31-year-old man, was the first victim of her own. She gave him a heart stabbing and threw his body in a dumpster. John Chapman, a housemate of hers, was the next. She stabbed him and disposed of his body in a ditch outside of Peterborough, just like she did with Łukasz. After killing her housemate, her next plan was to murder her landlord, with whom she was also having an affair. However, 48-year-old Kevin Lee was stabbed and was placed in a ditch. Leslie Layton and Gary Stretch Richards were helping her. They both confessed afterward that they agreed because they were frightened of her. They drove to the town of Hereford after disposing of Lee's body in the hopes of locating more victims to stab. Then they spotted Robin Bereza and John Rogers walking their dogs. Rogers was stabbed 40 times, while Bereza was stabbed in the chest and shoulder. So how was she captured? Her landlord's family reported him missing after she killed him, and she soon became a wanted person. The police invited her to come in for interrogation. After being apprehended after 2 days, she acted strangely during her detention and even made casual conversations with a policeman. She continued by saying that she was murdering men because it was enjoyable. She has dated a number of her fellow prisoners and has once plotted an escape, but she's still in jail, where she can't kill any more guys for the time being. Katherine Knight. Born on October 24, 1955, Katherine, like many others on this list, had an extremely difficult upbringing. Her parents had to leave their scandalous, unfaithful relationship at the beginning in order to have their own family. When they had children, they mistreated them cruelly. Katherine's father, Ken, reportedly assaulted her up to 10 times a day. At 15, she dropped out of school completely and started working as a meat cutter in a slaughterhouse. She enjoyed her work and developed skills in cutting through flesh, skin, and bone skills that would regrettably come in handy when she started committing crimes. She got married to David Stanford Kellett, a co-worker, and they had a terrible marriage in which she beat him with a frying pan, tried to strangle him, and nearly hurt their child. She started dating John Price in the late 1990s, but this relationship was violent as well. She argued with him, even managing to get him fired from his position. Everything reached a breaking point in February 2000 when he was forced to get a restraining order against Katherine because of her severe assault. On February 29th, he returned home to discover that Katherine had given his kids away to a friend's house for a sleepover. When Katherine entered his home in the middle of the night, the two even had love. However, as John was asleep, Katherine stabbed him 37 times with a butcher knife, causing him to pass away from his wounds. Recall that I mentioned that her experience as a butcher taught her how to cut meat. She, however, skinned him and hanged the skin from a hook. In addition, fried the flesh, which is worse. She prepared to give his kids his flesh, along with baked potatoes, carrots, pumpkins, beets, gravy, and other foods. When John failed to show up for work, his co-workers reported her to the police, who apprehended her. Given the brutality of the killing and her lack of regret, she was arrested and entered a guilty plea to a murder charge. An Australian lady was condemned to life in jail without the possibility of release. She is currently imprisoned at Silverwater Women's Correctional Center after making an unsuccessful attempt to appeal this decision. Celeste Carrington. In California, she is one of just 15 women who have received the death penalty. Celeste's tale had a very sad start. Her parents were from Philadelphia, and they were not just impoverished but also violent. She was impregnated by her own father by the age of 14, and it is thought that she experienced terrible suffering while in their care. She eventually arrived in sunny California, where she appeared to be making a change in her life. Celeste began working for a cleaning company that cleaned office buildings all around California. However, in late 1991, she was fired after it was discovered that she had been stealing checks from these offices. One of her first crimes occurred in January 1992, when she used a crowbar to break into a Dodge auto dealership in Redwood City and stole electronics and cash. Even more terrifying, though, was the fact that she grabbed a 5-bullet-loaded A357 Magnum pistol. On January 26, 1992, she broke into a shoe factory using stolen keys, committing her first murder. When she finally did get inside, she triggered the security alarm, alerting Victor Esperaz, the building's custodian. She claimed she was there for a cleaning job and that she may have accidentally set off the alarms when he approached her. She killed Esperaz by pushing him to his knees and shooting him in the head in an execution-style manner, despite the fact that he made no attempt to resist or struggle. On March 11, 1992, she broke into a Palo Alto real estate business, once more using stolen keys. She used to clean, and when the janitors had left, she would use a screwdriver to force her way inside when the keys wouldn't work. She considered searching for anything to steal, but she couldn't think of anything. Then she noticed Caroline Ann Gleason, the property manager, entering and circling her in the photocopy room. In compliance, Caroline handed up her car keys, her ATM card, and $400. Celeste also shot her in the head after forcing her to kneel, much like Esperas did. 5 days later, she broke into a hospital and gave physician Dr. Alan Marks 2 gunshot wounds. After he lived through the come-across, Celeste was taken into custody on March 20th, 1992, after 2 murders and 1 attempted murder. Police discovered proof of her crimes when they searched her residence, and on June 16th, 1994, she was convicted guilty of 14 criminal counts. A jury recommended the death penalty that same August. She is on death row at San Quentin and continues to contest her conviction. Our thoughts and prayers go out to those involved. We hope you enjoyed our true crime overview of the world's most dangerous women held in captivity. Be sure to be a True Crime subscriber and hit the bell icon to never miss another true crime video. Leave a comment and a like to show your support. Until next time, stay safe. And if you have a true crime story you would love to see, please be sure to leave in the comments below. We look forward to seeing you in our next video.